I want to talk about the art of the board resume and the cover letter, because these are the areas where you can truly differentiate from the rest of the market. I've mentioned to you in my previous videos how competitive the landscape now is. There are literally tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of executives that want to serve in the boardroom. Last year we conducted dozens and dozens of board search assignments, and that resulted in me coming into contact with literally thousands of board resumes. And I've got to say that the standard was incredibly low. Now, what that says to me is there's a huge opportunity for people who really want to put the emphasis on having the right documentation, perfecting your board documents so that you can secure board appointments and secure a meeting to get in the door for a conversation. And keep in mind that that is the primary purpose of a board resume and a cover letter, is to get you in the door for the conversations, get you in the door for serious consideration. Now, there's a huge difference between board resumes and traditional resumes, executive resumes. And most of you might be starting out and you've got a whole heap of executive experience that you need to try and showcase, but you need to put the emphasis on what would be of interest to the board of directors. So the board is fundamentally interested in board strategy, managing risks in business, and they're looking for your expertise where that's concerned, and they're looking for your knowledge around good governance practices and how you're going to bring that value proposition to the table. So you need to really get clear on how you're going to structure a really professional and powerful board resume. And the first page is kind of the money shot. It's the most important part of the document because you want to showcase any obvious board experience that you have. You want to really capture that unique value proposition. You want to capture any formal credentials that you have that you're bringing to the table. And you really want to highlight how you have interacted with boards in the past, whether it be through delivering board papers, influencing board decisions, serving on committees, helping guide organisations either through that business strategy or risk component. So the documentation is really important. And for many of you, you've got maybe 20 plus years work experience that we have to try and capture in a compelling document. And I would typically expect a board resume to be about 3 to 4 pages in length. I don't subscribe to the 2-page succinct American style of resume. It just doesn't cut it in the Australian market. You've got a little bit more latitude here to have at least a few pages of content to showcase your experience, but you really have to get this information correctly captured. Now, one of the things that's often missing on a lot of board resumes is the referees, who the champions are, who's vouching for you. Go on the front foot. You must capture this information because so much of this is down to reputation, who's vouching for you, who's going into bat for you. It has a big bearing on whether you get considered for roles. So if you've got quality referees, you would always be showcasing them on the resume. And conversely, if you don't, I've got to be honest with you, as a headhunter, I think, well, if after all these years of working, you don't have one person that you can put on the resume who's a bit of a superstar, who's going to vouch for you, that's a big red flag for me. So this concept of referees on request is a huge missed opportunity because for most of you, you're battling to get in the door. So you need to put all your bells and whistles on the table with your board resume. It has to be perfect. It has to be crisp, appealing, has to be well presented. Don't try and go alone with these documents and get professional help. Make sure that it's really highlighting your governance experience, your leadership experience, and your strategic impact. The other element is the underutilization of a board cover letter. And I cannot tell you how many people are so stupid. I don't mean to be derogatory, but it really does get my goat.